Morning. My name is Corporal May, and today we're going to be conducting individual training on the tasks of converting an azimuth. So converting a azimuth from magnetic to grid, from grid to magnetic, as well as shooting a back azimuth. The overall risk assessment for today is low. The weather was severe outside, so we came indoors. Just keep in mind the exits is back to your rear, and in case of emergency we will exit out the back door, go to the left outside, and then we will meet up in the parking lot behind the company. So, task condition standards. Task is to convert azimuths from grid to magnetic, magnetic to grid, as well as shoot a back azimuth. Conditions. You are a member of a squad preparing to conduct tactical movement, and you have been directed to convert azimuths in preparation for the movement. You have been given a 1 in 50,000 military map with a declination diagram, pencil, paper, a magnetic azimuth, and a grid azimuth. So, to start, I am going to demonstrate converting a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth. Record my results. Now I'm going to demonstrate converting a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. And lastly, I will demonstrate shooting a back azimuth. Okay, now that I've demonstrated how to do these tasks, I'm going to go through and explain to you how I achieved those results. So, the first thing you're going to need to know when converting an azimuth is what your GM angle is. So, your GM angle is found at the bottom of your map in the declination diagram, which looks like this. So, once you find your declination diagram at the bottom of your map, you look to see your GM angle. So, the GM angle for here at Fort Benning is 4. Now, to convert a magnetic to a grid, you're going to subtract. So you're going to subtract 4. So in this case, if you have a magnetic azimuth of 330, you are going to subtract 4, giving you obviously 326 would be your new azimuth. So in the same sense, but opposite, when converting a grid to a magnetic azimuth, you are going to add. So, in the same sense, same example, you have a grid azimuth of 330 degrees. So, to find your new azimuth, you would simply add the 4 degrees, which is your GM angle, to your grid azimuth, giving you 334 degrees. That would be your new azimuth. So, when finding a grid azimuth, you're given a point. You use the 1/50,000 scale on your map. You are going to plot your point, and then simply plot the point from where you are to the place where you're going. So, and then you're simply going to take your protractor and draw a line. Once you draw a line connecting those dots, you put your protractor back over the crosshairs in the center of your protractor, you're going to center that on your starting point, trace that line back up, and now you're going to see your grid azimuth. So again, you'll take that grid azimuth and convert it to magnetic, so you're going to add 4 to that. So in that sense, 334 degrees is your new azimuth. So let's talk about shooting a back azimuth. Shooting a back azimuth, essentially all you have to do is, if your azimuth is greater than 180 degrees, you simply subtract 180 degrees. If it is less than 180 degrees, you simply add 180 degrees. So in this example, we have an azimuth of 330 degrees. That is more than 180 degrees, so we're going to subtract. So 180 minus 330 is 150 degrees. That is your back azimuth. Essentially, you are just turning yourself 180 degrees and going back the way you came. So now that I have demonstrated as well as explained the techniques to converting the azimuths, is there any questions? Okay, at this point we are going to go in to the practice stage. So I'm going to let y'all practice. I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and time starts now. Okay, 5 minutes has elapsed. How did that go? Did anybody have any questions? Was anybody not understanding? No questions? Okay, so let's move on to the assessment phase. I am going to give you 3 minutes, that is 1 minute per task, to convert a grid to magnetic, a magnetic to grid, as well as find a back azimuth. Before you start, make sure that you have all the equipment you need. Make sure you have your gloves, iPro, helmet, water source, Camelback, as well as your flick or magazine carrier. If everyone has all their equipment, they have their map, protractor, pen, paper, lensatic compass, then we will begin. So your 3 minutes starts now. Okay, 3 minutes has elapsed. It appears everyone has completed those tasks within the allotted time and correctly. If a soldier had not completed those tasks correctly, I would take them to a practice area, let them practice more, go over what they're struggling with, helping them find the GM angle, and then make sure they're able to correctly find their grid azimuth, as well as their, possibly they could be, I utilize the center hold method for the compass. They could possibly having issues holding the compass and finding their magnetic azimuth. At that point, I would retrain or repractice and then reassess. So, if there is no other questions, I'm going to, it appears that everyone is trained. I have evaluated, they completed the tasks, they are goes. So now let's move into the AAR. What was supposed to happen? We were supposed to conduct individual training. I was to teach you about a declination diagram, what it is, how to find your GM angle, and convert your azimuths, converting a grid to magnetic, a magnetic to grid, as well as shooting a back azimuth. What did happen? We trained all of those. We trained how to convert a grid to magnetic, magnetic to grid, as well as a back azimuth. We practiced, we trained, and then we assessed. Everyone completed the task correctly in the time allotted. At this time, I'm going to ask that you all make sure you have everything you came with. So you have your iPro, your helmet, you have your flick, you have your IFAK, you have your gloves, and everything that you brought with you. You have your pen and paper, your protractor, map, lensatic compass, Everyone has everything? Okay, at this time, that completes the class. You are dismissed.